Hello.
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 Hello. Well, welcome to the Three Guys Hanging Out podcast, is what we're calling ourselves. I'm Mo Youssef. To my right,
Hello, this is Shaggy T-Bone. Nice to see you all again.
same here. And to his right,
Luscious Larry P.
all right.
You might remember me from my early days in porn. Starting out in porn is not easy. First, I started in the Spartan 300. Man, I couldn't walk for a month.
How many medals did you get on that one?
I didn't get any medals, but I do get a lot of Christmas cards still, I must say.
Too funny. So, welcome back. We've been gone for a little while. I think just a couple of weeks, and just wanted to hear how those weeks have been treating you guys, good, bad, or otherwise. So we ended off with Larry. So let's hear it.
It's been an interesting week. I'm definitely getting sick of the work from home thing, but I'm definitely not missing the commute. So it's one of those kind of trade-offs. I hate that kind of work life and home life is starting to smash together, and the longer it goes, the worse it's getting. Going into the weekend, though, I didn't have anything planned, and then a really big turn happened on Friday night, and I wound up going to both the Mets-Yanks game on 9/11, which was a fantastic experience, and then I was able to see the New York Giants play in their home opener. And even though I wish I didn't see that game, it was actually still pretty cool to go. I wound up going with my dad. So,
nice.
Weekend.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cool. And LLP, how about yourself?
Been having a great couple of weeks. My kids have started their high school soccer. They're both playing defense, both loving it. Pretty cool. This is just not even a couple hours ago. I was at the soccer field, and so I get there early, watch them warm up, stuff like that. I'm all into it. And I'm sitting at there's like little sets of bleachers, like maybe 8 little sets, fit maybe 20, like 3 rows, like you can fit 5 across. So I sit down, and Lisa's next to me. Grandma came, which everybody's saying hello. Everybody knows each other. So now, like in front of you, some people put their lounge, they'll bring like a beach chair and sit there to get a good, which is fine because you're sitting, it's not a big deal. But now, so the grandparents are sitting, let's say, in front of me a little bit, so that when you look left, you could still see. Now their son comes over. He's like a 400 fucking pound gelatinous mass. Fucking plops himself right, not sitting, he's just standing there. Right. Then you get into the game, you're getting a little
translucent. Yeah.
So I get the fuck up and I just plop my body right in front of his. So, but he was a real nice guy. I guess he got the message and he backed up like 10 steps.
Oh,
but
man.
Some people are just so you know what? It's not that he was a mean guy. Some people have just no fucking clue. No fucking clue.
Yeah, they're not considerate. I definitely, it's a consideration piece.
Yeah, the guy gets a 0 for awareness in Madden, it sounds like,
But he was a nice guy. When I realized I was being a little bit... Yeah. I don't want to be dickish because his kid's on my kid's team. Then I said hello, and then it just went sort of. He was a nice. He was just like Buddy the Elf, special,
Yeah, I'm sure he's gonna love when he sees the podcast, and he knows you called him a 400-pound gelatinous slob.
Well, maybe he'll get the message. So that's it. So that's sometimes I feel like it's like my patriotic duty to do things like that. So that ticked me up. But we won the game 5-1, so I was psyched.
Nice.
Wow,
yeah, Lily had a beast of a game. Yeah, so it was good. And then I've been commuting to work. So what I do now is I take my bicycle in the morning. Mm-hmm. So I catch the 5 a.m. ferry. So I take my bicycle from here in where we live down about 5 miles to the ferry, half-hour ferry ride, and then it's like 3 miles over to get to like downtown Brooklyn. So you get my workout in. It's great. Wow, the hardest thing is, though, you don't get coffee until I have a quick cup before I go, right? Uh-huh. And then you get into work. It's, let's just say, I'm liking I'm getting the workout in. I can take a shower at work. Got a nice setup there, and then but you're craving that coffee like it.
Could you grab some coffee right before you get onto the ferry? Or
no, it's at 5. Plus, I'm getting the 5 o'clock. Nothing's open, and the ferry used to surf, but they're not open either. With COVID and all this horse shit. This is an awful pandemic when you
crazy,
can't get a
man.
cup of coffee. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah, but yeah.
Wow. Well,
Rich man's problems. Rich man's problems, right?
exactly. Well, it sounds like sports is like heating up with Tommy going to some events. Larry, you're attending soccer.
Kids' high school games. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly. So on my end, I actually went out to the movies. So
Is it open now?
they're completely open. They're completely
Now,
open.
is this in
This is in
Pennsylvania or is this
Pennsylvania,
in
right? This is in Eastern Pennsylvania.
what theater did you go to?
I went to the one in Bethlehem. There's
Oh.
I have the Regal app. So for
Nice.
$23 a month, I can go to any Regal cinema in the U.S.
Wow.
Watch any movie, anytime. I can watch it like 5 times in the day or whatever.
That's awesome.
You just can't buy 2 tickets during the same time. This way you don't let somebody else in, right?
Right.
So over the last week, I watched Shang Chi.
How was
came out
it?
from Marvel.
Sick.
So
I heard it was great.
well,
I heard it was
here's the
good,
deal, right?
We're ruining the whole commentary here, Tom.
That's all right.
Yeah, God bless you.
It's a crowd pleaser in the sense that when you go there, you're not going to be disappointed in the movie. But it was like 3 different movies at once. In the beginning, it was like a rom-com with action. It was like Speed with Keanu Reeves. Then it turns into like The Last Samurai, and then it turns into like Narnia. It's crazy because it's really based off of magic and all this other stuff.
That's cool.
I tried not to pick at it because I go to the movies just to enjoy it. These people are so critical over everything.
Right.
They can find a reason, but
that's what we do. We're the fault finders. That's what we do.
Right.
Now, hey Mo. So,
Yeah.
I know in a lot of the traditional Marvel features, there's a lot of crossovers that happen. However, in looking at the trailers for how do you say it again?
Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi.
God bless you.
The 10 rings.
Right.
So, in looking at the trailer, it doesn't seem like it's set in almost the same Marvel universe, but once again, I haven't seen it yet. So just you don't have to tell me who, if there was, but were there any crossovers in the movie?
So the only crossover that happened in the movie was actually talking about the blip. So the timeline happened after Avengers Endgame. So that's the timeline which this happens, right? And what they do is they also talked about the origin of the rings, which is thousands and thousands of years ago. So they take you there, and then they fast forward you to 1996, where something happens, and then boom, you get to present day. And so that's essentially how the movie ends. And then, I'm sorry, there's one other piece that you see, and it's in the trailer, where Abomination's fighting somebody. So Abomination was in the first Hulk movie, and he's fighting somebody in the pit. Okay, and so that is going to lend itself to the closing credits. Like the after credit scene. That's when. So they have 2 after credit scenes. Now, if you follow the comics, you know what's going to happen. You know what happens with Shang-Chi, and you know what happens with his sister. Okay, so that they essentially play it out. My biggest concern in this movie was Awkwafina, because she's more of a rapper. She's not like a great actress or anything. She was great in comedy relief. She grew on me all the time. Yeah,
They played her right.
I had more of an issue with Shang-Chi because
as an actor, his performance.
No, what they did with him, like when you were excited to see the Hulk,
how they portrayed him.
Exactly.
Right.
Like I had a big problem eventually with what they did with the Hulk. Yeah, because he was he ever as big and mighty as Thor? Not really. Like he was used as a joke.
Well, he was bigger than Thor physically, but he wasn't as.
But they sidelined him. They sidelined him. He wasn't. He was never really the MVP.
And that's I hear what you're saying.
Wow. At some point in the comics, Hulk became like as strong as Superman. Yeah. I mean, exactly. That's the comics.
Yeah.
Like he would be able to smash the shit out of most people, including Thor. I just think, I think kind of Thor's power, it seems to go up and down based on how bad he's getting his ass kicked or something. It's like some of the gods kind of inject some shit into him, I think.
Plus Hulk, in some versions, they make him stupid. Hulk smash!
Exactly.
And then other ones, he's like articulate.
Well, I think it depends on how much of Bruce Banner's coming out in him, right?
Well, if you got you both saw Endgame, of course, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you both saw it. Now the biggest question is just remember where Endgame left off versus the after credits here. So
Okay.
once you guys see Shang-Chi, we'll have a much bigger conversation.
All right.
Good.
And we'll go into
Yeah, I
it.
do
So
wanna see it.
I don't want to spoil it because
No.
the post.
Now, how did he? I just saw a couple of trailers, and I'm definitely hooked.
Yeah.
As an actor, I heard he did a real good job.
Oh,
Now you may not be happy the way they portrayed him,
exactly
according to
No,
the
but
comic
you
books,
believe
because we're
it.
more traditionalists. But I heard
Yeah.
acting wise, he's funny. He's on the money. He's not.
Listen.
Yeah.
100% of the action scenes,
Right.
fantastic. I don't have a bad thing to say about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Good.
Yeah,
All right, here's a
yeah.
question for you. This Regal $23 a month thing.
Yeah.
Is that for
Yeah.
you and a guest or just you?
Just you.
So let's say you want to take a date.
So you could buy two.
Right.
You could buy two. What do you call it? Tickets.
$23 a month.
One ticket will be free.
And then you just get a ticket there like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And
When I
unless
heard you
choose
doing 5-6 movies a day, I sort of picture you like a Pee Wee Herman, whacking off in the back of the movie theater kind of thing.
so funny you say that, right? Because there are three different. No. I'm
Three
sorry.
different guys jerking off
Three
in the
different
back.
Pee Wees? Yeah. Who you sitting back there with? You,
There
Pee
are
Wee, and who?
four- There are four
I want a
different
Pee
scenarios.
Wee.
Right. So there are four different scenarios. Check this out.
You
The
just had
first
3 different
scenario-
scenarios. Now there are 4.
I just So
You bet.
the
Bet.
four scenarios are essentially this. And it may be 3 because my mind is going crazy. The first one is you walk into the theater and it's completely empty, right? Nothing.
That's how I
Nobody
envision you going in there, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so
Cup of popcorn,
I watched the movie. Like you start running out of movies because you've seen it all, right?
right?
So I saw Respect, the movie of Aretha Franklin, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there. I let my phone ring. I was talking. I was eating pretty loud. I burped, and then for whatever reason, I fixed myself up in the chair. I stood up and I was like, "Oh my God, there's somebody else in the theater."
Thank God.
Like, it felt horrible. So it's like you're either there or somebody else is there. The other scenario I've seen is like somebody's already there and it's that creepy weird guy.
That's
So
you.
I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Right.
And then here's what I saw. Here's why I know that movies are making a comeback. In a couple of movies, I saw the string of girls who get left off at the movies to go watch a movie. So like there were like groups of 3 or 4 girls that go and are watching movies. So once
What is the age category?
anywhere between like 17 to like young 20s. Yeah,
All right, that's not so
upper
creepy.
teens.
All right, that's cool.
Yeah. No, but those are the people that once
Those
you
are the
start
ones
going with your
spending
friends,
the money. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's it. You're right.
and then Shang-Chi was literally the only one where there was like almost a pact.
Right.
That's right. Popular
pact-
movie. Big.
Yeah. That's
Well, I mean-
pretty good. It's pretty
Cool.
You know
good.
what? To speak kind of along the same lines, I was surprised. I think looking at watching games on television, like there's really hasn't been full stands from what I've seen. But the Mets Yankees game on 9/11, it seemed like all the seats were filled. I mean, there were some you could purchase online and things like that, which is what we did. And I highly recommend an app called Game Time, where
Okay.
my wife and I actually went to the Mets game without tickets in the parking lot. We ate our sandwiches and like a little tailgate scenario. I had a couple of drinks and then I bought my tickets and we went to the gate. It was really easy.
Did you know you were going to get in, Tom? Definitely.
Yeah.
I saw them online before we went and I just
Sweet.
wanted to see if the prices came down. For the 9/11 game, prices have stayed pretty high.
Yeah, naturally. Right.
And was high. However,
Rightfully so.
Mets Yankees on Sunday, tickets were available for like $30 for decent seats.
Wow.
There was even cheaper than that. There were $11 tickets. And then yesterday's game, I checked it out again, just curiosity, trying to take some market data on how much the costs are. You get, first inning, you could have got Mets tickets for $1 just to get into the stadium.
No
awesome.
way.
Ridiculous,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And
pretty
the
good.
Jets are paying everybody $1 just to go in.
Exactly.
You could football game too. At the Giants game, I checked it out. They were selling tickets for $27 a pop in the 300s.
But at what time? It had to be the day of the game, right?
1 hour before the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. They're not going to sell it. Might as well get something.
So it's like
And
the
then if
resale
everybody
tickets,
comes in,
right?
they get a beer and a hot dog. They did pretty good.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Tommy, so I heard from.
Wait a
friend
minute.
who
Firstly,
was at the game.
With
Yeah.
Tommy's lighting, it's Ghost Tommy. It's like the Star Wars thing,
No
like when you
way,
die.
no.
Look at him. It's either he's Ghost Wanaka or he's got a penis lightsaber going on there.
Look
at it.
with the light. Oh, this thing.
Don't you see it, Muhammad? You see, right? You see what I'm saying? Does it look like he's
yeah.
Ghost?
A little bit.
It's like he's got like a pot plant in there, and then the light fell, and his face in his face.
You know what it is? It's
like
it's
those
the
iridescent
off my gold microphone, Larry.
Oh yeah,
that's good.
Nice. You deserve a golden one. Yeah.
But Tommy,
man.
I heard that it took like 40 minutes to park, another 40 to get into the stadium. Like it was a brutal.
For the Giants game?
Yeah, for the Giants game.
Okay, I went early to meet up with some buddies. My dad and I just do some tailgating. Getting in wasn't a big deal. Getting out, I stood not moving for about 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's what she said.
And then classic. Everyone's angry because the Giants lost and they look pathetic. And we get to the front of this line of cars, and there's 5 lanes that are merging. And listen, to get a merge to go well, everyone's got to do it right. And then the merge works. And people
excellent. That's a good point. We should talk about that.
And there's always stupid people that cut in too early, and then they'll jerks that try to like take advantage and too late. So here I am, kind of. I consider myself an expert merger, right? So I'm moving on. A spot opens up. You can't leave that spot unfilled.
That's how we got the golden mic for being the expert merger.
So you have to go. So this Jeep does a hard cut right. I'm right behind him. So I fill the gap. The guy gets angry at me. So I open the window, and he's yelling, "Dude, you think it's okay to cut?" I go, "Guy, there's 5 lanes that are merging together." This
Nobody's
asshole, she's knocking on my window. I'm like, "Dude, what?" He's like,
"Really?
What? He got out of the car and knocked on your window? Is that what I just heard?"
No, the cars were so close that he knocked on.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm like, "Dude, what?" He goes,
"He's got the wrong guy." I'll tell
you
that.
Is it okay that you're not cutting me in line after I waited for an hour? So I was like, first of all, you cut in all the way from the left while I was waiting in line. I watched your Jeep do it, and I followed you. All right. So secondly, you've got 5 lanes that are merging into one, and you're going to get angry because it's not a competition here, dude.
Right.
So the guy got all twisted. So, took his Jeep off the side. I mean, he had a car full of people. I thought I was going to wind up getting into a fight with my dad in the car and him having a heart attack or something. It was horrible.
Jeez. Thank God you would have crushed him. I don't even know the guy, whatever. Tommy's not a guy you mess with. What? Yeah, I know. You gotta.
I mean,
when you gotta go, you go. Yeah. But Tommy's right with the bang, merge, and the whole nine yards. I'm gonna say this. I usually used to go to like 2 Jet games a year and a Giant game a year. A couple of buddies have season tickets, that kind of thing. And I stopped. Well, here's the cool thing is this: we would go, we would tailgate, hang out, and we always said after the game we'll throw another couple of hot dogs on the grill, relight it. Have a cigar, a couple of cocktails, wait an hour, and there was still a fucking half hour, 45 minutes to get out. Here's the problem. They fucked up the stadium. The Jets and Giants, 2 teams to build one stadium, middle of a fucking swamp, and they fucked it up. You look at Dallas Stadium, look at Los Angeles Stadium, Vegas Stadium, they all embarrass us. And they're all, except for Dallas, smaller market teams. We have 2 giant markets, and they split the fucking cost. And when you go to Disney, I remember going to Disney years ago, right? Forget about it. Disney holds 30 times the amount of people that go into a football game, and you get in your car and you're out in 5 minutes on a road and there's no traffic. There, it's a parking lot. So how do you fuck up not doing that? So that's the biggest fuck up of the stadium. Yet alone, there's nothing attractive or nice to go there. Like I remember going to Green Bay Stadium. My dad's in Wisconsin. And it was middle of the summer. It wasn't even preseason. My dad's like, "Come on, we'll go to the stadium." I'm like, "What?" The kid's a little. I said, "Dad, come on. How much of a geek are you? Nobody's going to." We went there. There were 2 steakhouses, the Hall of Fame. You got to walk on the field. We had a real nice day. Now you got Giants, and they could easily.
NFL shop there too, right?
Yes, it's awesome. Yeah. So we have 2 of the biggest teams. Well, we have the Giants, which is really a traditional team, the Jets, or whatever the fuck they are. And the stadium totally sucks ass. If they just make a giant ball sack and let you walk in that, it would be better than going to that stadium. Am I right? Am I saying anything that's wrong?
No, you're not. So, the funny thing is, these teams are as bad as the stadium that they're in.
Yeah, it's pretty bad right now.
Which is like poetic.
No, I don't get. I understand the Jets. We'll talk about that later. The Giants, I don't get. Giants, I think, have a pretty good team on paper. I don't know what's going on there.
Being able to watch everything happen on the field, and there were a couple of bright spots, but you need that consistency. A few years in, right? I think it's pretty obvious. And I was a huge Eli fan. I supported him during his roughest times. At the end,
Me too.
Sad to see him. He was broken at the end, right? He was getting hit too much, and you could tell he was broken. When I was watching Danny Dimes throw the ball, he's not the guy. I watched him crumble as he was getting some pressure. He couldn't move, and the guy is an athlete. He could move, but he actually crumbled, and he went down with some pressure. So, I'm pretty confident that they need to move on and find another quarterback because Danny Dimes is not the guy.
How was the protection? I didn't watch the Giant game. Was the protection there?
You know what? It was. I mean, but I also don't understand when you've got, third and 10, 3rd and 12. I don't understand these 4-yard passes that never get anywhere. 2 to 3 4-yard passes with a defender right on a receiver. They've yet to show they have receivers with breakaway speed that could really get, turn that 4 yards into 12. Right. So they got to really reassess what they're doing, because I'm sure every fan sees it, and I'm not sure why the organization is always the last one to know.
I don't want to ruin Mo's show here. Are we talking about this stuff later?
Our show, guys. Come on. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's my show, but I let you guys hang out. That's what I say.
Well, I thought we would just stay on this topic. So
awesome job.
If you see a screen, just going through some of the games, and Tommy, we'll just keep going with the Giants game. The Giants lost to the Broncos 27-13, and they have Kenny Golladay from the Lions. Evan Engram is in the contract year, so you figure he's going to be a decent tight end this year. He hasn't been so far.
He got injured. He was out of the game. Personally, I think he's the most overrated tight end in football.
I agree.
Right? Yeah, I didn't get the whole thing. He has a lot of fuck ups. He's unhealthy a lot.
And then you get Saquon Barkley back.
Yeah.
Right. So
I think he's going to be. I think soon he's going to be one of these guys saying, "Get me the fuck out of here."
Right? No, I don't think so. I think he's going to still continue to be the face of the franchise, and they got to fix around him. Ingram is done too. All right. I'm sick of fucking hearing every year Ingram's one of the best tight ends in the year, and then you're like, "Oh, I'm going to draft him on my team," and you get him, and he sucks balls. Right. Ingram just is an overrated tight end. He needs to go away.
Yeah.
All right. We need to get a guy like Kittles. We need to get
Kittles. Kittles and the other guy, Kittle, who's very good over there in San Fran, I heard.
Right.
Yeah. Kittles. You gotta get a guy like Kelsey, right? We're talking about like really
those
tight
guys.
ends.
Yeah, but those guys are all pro. I mean, right now, I'll be okay with the guy from like Green Bay.
Well, no, they got the guy Rudolph, right? The guy from Minnesota.
Yeah,
he's decent tight end. He's got to work in the system. Yeah,
and
I thought Golladay, to your point, Muhammad, Golladay thought had a couple of nice plays yesterday, right?
Yeah,
getting in the game.
5. Yeah, use the guy.
He had a nice, tough, him and another guy battling for it. So a couple of the little highlights I've seen, thought it was cool. I actually don't like commenting on a game. I don't watch at least 90% of it because I fucking hate. I watch like the NFL shows that everybody just repeats themselves.
Yep.
And I like Chris Collinsworth. Everybody hates him. I like him because he calls a good game. He knows football. But he's getting old. He repeats himself like 50 times about the same guy.
You want to punch him right in his mouth, Larry. It looks like I think
it does look like a chicken.
Well, I'll say this.
A rich one. Yeah.
The NFL kicked it off really, really well. If you're going to have your first game, Buccaneers-Cowboys was
holy shit.
What a great way to kick it off.
Great way. I'm going to just say Dak Prescott, I was rooting for Dallas, even though I like Tampa Bay. Rooting for Dallas just because I had a miserable year coming back. Obviously, I'm rooting for the Giants over Dallas. But Dak Prescott, I was happy for him. Dak Prescott is an elite quarterback after watching that game.
Yeah.
But here's something for you. Dallas having some issues. Like now they drafted that linebacker, and that's what Collinsworth kept saying. He runs a 4-3. All right, great. You told us already 4 fucking times. Shut the fuck up.
Right.
Now, so what they doing there is they would rotate. I think it's bad news for those linebackers because they were doing like like first, second down. They would have like Jalen Smith, right, their old first-round pick, and Van Der Esch, and they would rotate them in there with that guy Parsons, their first-round pick this year, and like Neal, converted safety kind of thing. Where was DeMarcus Lawrence? You know what I'm saying? They have no pass rush. I'm just saying it's So it's just interesting.
I want to call out 2 things on the Giants. That one thing that I really loved, and another thing that
we're going back to the Giants.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just want to shake my head here. Just to finish up that topic. The thing, because you talked about games that you watch, I was actually able to, at the game, I was able to see some really, really nice things. Linebacker Martinez, although there was one play he didn't wrap up, he is a freaking animal.
He always been.
Him. I love him. He's the kind of linebacker we've got to model the rest of the defense out after. I don't care what position. You need someone
Very
with that
underrated.
aggression.
He's excellent.
He's freaking awesome.
Green Bay just let him go too. I just think it was like injury issues. He was unhealthy.
He's a beast.
Beast.
Now,
Love him.
the thing that I don't get also, and what really kills me, is the soft coverage of the defensive backs. All right. How are these guys wide open? Like, you got to get 25 yards and, leave a guy wide open at 27 yards. Disgusting.
Right.
So you got to freaking start, manning up on defense.
And,
start playing
and
with
just
the
to
ball.
defend your point there, Mr. T, they have some pretty damn good cover cornerbacks.
Yeah.
They could do the man coverage. Safeties are good.
The question is, what coverage did they call? Are they playing a zone? Are they?
Well, they have that tradition of
playing bump and run.
Like, don't bend but don't break defense. So I think some of it's by design. You got to get rid of that shit. Play balls out, man. Come on.
The other part of their problem is the pass rush. They don't have the dominant pass rush that they've always had. Their tackles are pretty good, I think.
Agree.
But the pass rush, those two ends, they just ain't there.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys this. This is more of a broader question. Biggest surprises in terms of, wow, I didn't expect this team to do as well as they actually did. What was it? What was it?
From week one?
From week one.
I'll go ahead. I'll jump in here, Tom, because you took all the time and jumped back into the thing after the biggest surprise of I'm gonna have to go last night's game and say the Raiders, right? The Ravens. I thought coming into this, what the hell is that?
LV, Las Vegas.
Yeah, that was a good one. You just did it with the opposite hands, so that's okay. So switch your hands now. Yeah, there you go. It's all right. You're Polish. We'll let you slide with these things now. Yeah. Now it was I thought Vegas last night, right? The Ravens,
their first home game,
made it to a Final Four kind of thing last year, top team. Yeah, they had all their running back issues and everything, but they have a stud defense.
Right.
Lamar Jackson. Vegas has been struggling, not for nothing. They have some talent. They have drafted well. That Mad Max, that guy Crosby,
right?
Total beast. And then you had the guy Nanukwe on the other end. They had a pass rush. They were playing tough with limited talent. Right, their old line was a little bit up a Carr. I'm going to say Carr's a very good, to me, a B+ quarterback. He's not a Dak Prescott. He's not a Tom Brady. He's not Mahomes, but he's that B+. But he doesn't have those A+ weapons that I think, other than Waller, because Waller's a beast as well.
Well, Waller's good. Ruggs is actually this is his second year. The guy runs a 4.3. I'm not sure.
He dropped a lot of passes yesterday, bro.
He did. And then they have the running back, Josh
Jacobs.
Josh
Jacobs. Yeah. But you know what? They could not you're going against the Ravens. They have these big defense, giant gelatinous masses in the middle. Discipline, always been. You're not going to run on him. That's why he rarely wasn't in the game. They were saying this, and then I heard them saying his turf toe. He's hurt. Nobody's running on him.
2 touchdowns, didn't he?
Yeah, but all right, he did, but they were little runs. For most of the game, if he ran the ball 18 times, he maybe just had 2 good runs. They were just stuffing him. Had nothing to do with him. Everything to do with that defense. Studley.
All right.
Beast.
I'm just gonna comment one thing. I'm gonna go back. I'm kind of a one comment behind you.
Okay, going back to the Giants. I'll wait. Yeah.
On Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a diehard Giant fan. I'll watch Dallas play because I love football, but I'm not going for Dallas. I was rooting for Dak Prescott after everything he's been through. All right. The last couple of years, his depression, the loss of his brother, all those things, and his foot being turned around the opposite way last year.
Well, he doesn't sign the big contract. He doesn't be a dick. He doesn't sit out and say, I'm not playing. I don't get paid. He breaks his leg, and it paid off for him.
I'm
he
so
did
happy.
that right after Ezekiel, right?
Man.
Yeah, I'm so happy he did well. And I'm also happy they lost. So I'm happy that he did well, but they lost.
You needed the loss. Yeah, I get it. 100%.
That game was absolutely fantastic. And to your point, Las Vegas, just the fact that they came back and won yesterday.
Big game.
That whole game was amazing last night. It was,
and it had the whole feel of they're the underdog. They're going to lose. They're behind. A couple of mistakes. And then they just tied it down. Defense played great, made some big plays.
Yeah.
Now here's another one.
Well,
part of that game. So back to Edmo. Yeah, you're the host.
I was going to say, right from the beginning, it's the Ravens and the Chiefs. They're supposed to be the ones that are headed to the Super Bowl this year. And for this to happen, great call to say that this was one of the biggest surprises in week 1.
And to the other side of the football, I think Lamar Jackson is a great other hands, Tom. Other hands. It's the opposite again, second time. Well, I'll edit that out so you don't. Yeah, I'll edit it the right way. Lamar Jackson, I think he's a super talent. He's a freak with some things, but again, he also cost him the game. I think him running and everything turns the ball over.
Fumble.
You know what I'm saying? The last couple of years, they have done a lot because he's so talented. But I think teams are starting to figure him out now.
You started to see that last year too with him, right? Trying to
get 2 fumbles last night, 2 big ones. If you don't fumble, they don't lose.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So
maybe he's trying too hard. So right. Tom, we could stick with the NFC East and just round out that.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. So we had the Eagles who just thumped the Falcons 33-6.
Yeah,
32-6, and then Washington, who was actually supposed to win that division, they lost to the Chargers 20-16.
Well, they lost Fitzpatrick, huge injury for them, right? Yeah. Their weakest point on the whole team was quarterback going into this. Right. Fitzpatrick could really be hit or miss, right? A lot of times, and so he goes down with the injury. He's done, I think. Now that's it. That bad hip injury. I know what they're all about. He's done. So, but the whole team. But it's also week 1. I still think they're going to have a good season. They got a lot of talent.
They have great defense too. Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
How about the Eagles? Are the Eagles for real? I mean, come on.
No, they're garbage team. Week 1, they just got lucky.
It's just two dirty
quarterback though? Jalen Hurst. I mean,
he's good.
I didn't expect him to do as well as he did. So is he for real? I don't know. I didn't get to watch the game. I saw the highlights, but is he for real?
Yeah. Well, he had a decent last year. Like the end of the last year, he sort of came on out of nowhere. You could see he had talent. Week 1, anything could happen, right? That's always like the biggest thing. Well, the next couple of weeks, we'll see. I just don't think he has a really good supporting cast around him.
Let me ask you a very similar question because I was very surprised at this as well. I watched preseason football, and I thought that the New Orleans Saints were going to be horrendous.
Yeah.
And then you got Jameis Winston comes out and throws 5 touchdown passes. Is he for real? I wonder, man, because he plus to play really well.
I'll tell you who's not for real is the NFC Central. All 4 teams lost. The 49ers, they beat the Lions. So the Lions lost that game. The Vikings lost to the Bengals 27-24.
Yep, that was a good game.
The Rams beat up on the Bears 34-14. And to your point, the Saints beat the Packers 38-3. They were washed away a couple of weeks ago with a hurricane, and then they demolished the Packers.
Again, week 1.
Week
1 thing. I think that the chemistry in Green Bay is. I think Rodgers does not want to be there. I think that he's a great talent. I really do. He's a competitor. I like him a lot. But when your heart's not there, instead of you taking the attitude of, listen, Green Bay has made me, developed me and everything, instead of taking the attitude of, get me the fuck out of here and say, you know what, Dan Marino, he already got a couple of Super Bowls. So instead of him saying, let me tough it out, let me do what I got to do to get this, took the other out. I don't think he's going to be there next year, and I think it showed. There was no gelling. A lot of people pissed off. He was out, and it showed. But back to Winston, there's a reason why Tampa Bay let him go, right?
Well,
he throws all these touchdowns, but I didn't think he would do it. I think he has glimpses of greatness, like Fitzpatrick, and then he'll have a game where he's going to shit the bed. You know what I'm saying?
I think so. Yeah. Can we just head back to Green Bay? Do you think Rodgers is going to be there all year?
Yes.
Yeah, they won't trade him away.
No,
they won't trade him to a team that might win it all.
Yeah, I think they will.
Picks.
You think Tommy thinks so, and you think so?
I think it's one of those things where there's going to be a team that knows that they have a chance if they update their quarterback, and they're going to look to bring him in. The challenge with that is it's tough to learn an offense. You have to then simplify your full offense because you can't learn something that's that complex if you're a new quarterback coming in,
right? Unless
he's got the playbooks now and he know who's that's going to be, and he's studying them now.
Yeah.
But you know what? I didn't think. I think it's just a culmination of everything that we've seen in the offseason. You could talk a game, and then after the game, you had the coach saying they lost for one reason. You got him disagreeing with the coach. I mean, they're just all on different pages over in Green Bay, and I don't think you win with that kind of attitude.
I think they have I think they are a complete team. I think they have a lot of good weapons. I think that they have a plan. Management didn't let them go in the offseason now, even though they have love, meaning the player, not peace and harmony shit. And I honestly feel that they're gonna win the few games. They're gonna play the Bears and beat them up. Play the Vikings, beat them up. Lions, they're gonna wipe their ass with the Lions. And then now they're gonna be in that playoff contention, looking real solid, and then they're gonna ride him out. And if he leaves, it's gonna be in the season. I think they already sort of did that. I think trading him is a very complex thing. He's only gonna want to go to X amount of teams. So the teams that he may want to go to, could be so out of 32 teams, he's only gonna have maybe 2 or 3 realistic suitors. He may not want to go. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I don't think that's the only reason I'm saying it. I think next year, off season, he's out of there unless they fix some of the shit. But it's almost like a bad relationship. I don't love my wife anymore. That's it.
Is there a trade deadline for the
NFL? Week 8.
It's like week 8.
Week 8 maybe, even though it's an extra game, something like that. Yeah, there is. But but I think they're going to be 5-3, 6-2 at that week 8, and they're going to be like, "Nah, we're keeping 100%."
Yeah, I think if they look themselves in the mirror and they say we're not one of the top 3 teams in the NFC, you dump them. You dump him, because I think at that point you could still salvage his first round draft pick status.
I think if he goes 8-8, he's going to get the same value at the end of the season than he will in week 7. Unless he breaks both legs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But
I don't know. Management wants
it at the end of the year.
Right.
Now, listen, I'm also jacked up. This is the first week of real football because preseason to me is one of those things. Like if you don't catch the first quarter, you might as well not even watch, right? And even the first quarter, they're not going all out. But one of the things I love in week 1 is you've got your rookies that are coming out of college and you get to watch them live for the first time if they're starting. I think there were 3 NFL quarterbacks, college quarterbacks coming out that started.
Justin Fields,
Taylor Lawrence and
no, wait a minute. Fields didn't start.
Well, I thought Fields. Well, everybody's
Wilson started, Trevor Lawrence started, and the dude from the Patriots.
Oh yes, he was.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Fields didn't start. He got in a couple of times for Chicago, but he didn't start.
Well, everybody's picking him up under.
And I agree with you, Tommy, 100%. Preseason football is like foreplay. Enough already. Just let me get to the action.
Not even as good as foreplay, right? It's like a disappointing strip show. I mean, you don't see anything.
Well, I think this, what a lot of people call the strongest division in the NFL, it's the NFC West. All 4 teams won. The 49ers beat the Lions. The Cardinals beat up the Titans.
That was the shock. Arizona, I think, is a good team, but that totally I was like, holy shit, wow. Arizona's got a shot.
DeAndre Hopkins, they've got Fitzgerald, and they have A.J. Green.
And their quarterback is speedy and excellent. Running game is good. Murray.
Kyler Murray. And then
Kyler Murray.
Rams. They have the Rams now who have Stafford. So
how dominant Matthews, like when I mentioned before, Dak Prescott was dominant.
Yeah.
Matthew Stafford with the Rams.
Couldn't miss.
He's talking MVP candidate is what I'm talking right now. Is how good he looked. On the money, accurate. He was a man. He rolled. Everything he did was on the money. It's like, whoa. It was that impressive. They're contenders.
How would you like to be the guy who everybody was talking about as the MVP last year? Your team beat the Colts 28-16, and the Seahawks could be the best team that is that finishes 4th in their division.
Crazy. Yeah. Insane. That's another guy who may not be there next year. Wilson, right?
Russell Wilson, yeah.
They should just go straight up. Wilson for Rodgers. There you go. Case closed. Everything's settled.
It's not like you're improving in the weather either, right? Seattle?
No.
I don't think Rodgers would want to go to Seattle. There's no offensive weapons there, really. They're limited.
Megatron.
Yeah.
I love that guy. Metcalf, he's friggin' awesome. What a beast.
Yeah,
wasn't Megatron the guy that retired a while ago from the
Lions? He was the guy from the Lions. I forget the guy.
Johnson.
Calvin Johnson.
Calvin Johnson.
That's right. I'm sorry.
All right, that's okay. We're going over a lot here. I'll tell you another one. Again, Mo, you keep going. We're gonna hit my team before you get over.
So that's essentially the NFC, right?
Yeah.
So the The road has got to go. You would think it's going to go through the NFC West, but no, it's you have to go through Tom Brady and the Bucks because he's still quite relevant. Even at 44.
They are a
So let's-
perfectly balanced
yeah.
team.
And their offense looks even better now.
Now we're Giant fans. How good did JPP look? Stud.
Yeah.
He's only got seven fingers, and he's still dominating.
He does,
Right? He's a stud.
How about
Hold it.
Gronkowski too?
Gronkowski beast. I know they just got to preserve him.
Yeah.
Brady.
I
That old line is insane.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now that they're both
They don't
out
have-
of New England, because I wasn't a big fan. I'm not a big fan of New England, although I like their rookie quarterback. I like
Wait
the
a
fact
minute.
that-
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Time out. I gotta call bullshit here. Me and you were in Aruba with your father
Mhm.
and your family when we stayed at La Cabana. What do we stay?
Yes. Lock a band and
And that's when Parcells, this was years ago. It was what, 25 years ago?
Mhm.
27, 28 years ago. And Parcells, when he took over, and we were cheering the Bulls for the Patriots. Remember when Parcells was there?
I was cheering for
Oh, yeah.
Parcells, dude. It was
Yeah.
never about New England.
But we
It was
were
all about-
we were going, never about no, but they were the losers back then. But we were cheering pretty hard for them. We were all drunk in the bar and everything. And
That makes sense.
Yeah, but,
But
I
I
remember.
think
so,
to Shaggy's point, you're cheering for Parcells, but now these guys,
Mhm.
even after Brady, they're still looked at as the evil empire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? Because Tom Brady, who you have to respect, and
Without a doubt.
Gronkowski are no longer there, I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
I like watching him play, man. And number one, he's not only playing football, he's in more commercials now. He doesn't even eat
Yeah.
bread. He's in Subway commercials.
Yeah,
I love
right,
that.
That
shit.
was pretty funny.
Gronkowski is
Yeah.
getting up there. He's trying to get a US AAA loan for military vets, and he's trying to convince him that he deserves one too in a commercial. I love that because he can make fun of himself a little bit and just have fun with it.
Tom
Hey,
Brady's he's like one of our comic book characters. It's like a little kid out there making
Right.
shit up. Yes, I just won 6 Super Bowls and with 2 different teams, and I married a rich supermodel. Right?
Yeah.
He's like a guy you make up.
Yeah.
Right?
And Gronkowski is what? He's only 33, right? 32, 33, which most guys
He's a
are
kid.
retiring at that point.
Yeah,
But he
but
looks
he's
like a
still
kid
dominant.
next to
He took a year
Brady.
off and he's doing
Yeah.
great. Come on.
Well,
My favorite
Let's talk about. I'm sorry. You go on. You say your
I was
favorite.
gonna say my favorite commercial I saw. All those stupid perfume commercials where Brad, what's his name from Pirates of the Caribbean?
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp's digging
Yeah.
a hole in the sand, puts his beads in it or whatever. What
Yeah.
fucking stupidest commercials ever.
You don't even
Yesterday,
know what
Tom
it's for.
Brady-
Right.
I think Tom Brady's in a perfume commercial, cologne. He's like, "Oh, this is what we do," and he reaches in and he pulls out a Subway sandwich out of this perfume bottle, and he's like, "This is awesome, Brad." And it was just a spoof on those stupid commercials. I'm loving his post or in between commercial break appearances, man. He's doing. I love it.
Well,
You have a
he's-
guy who was the underdog, and then he became so dominant, and then
Yeah.
he kicked ass in New England, and then everybody was against New England for a while, and now we went to a new team, and he's just having fun.
Yeah.
Right. When we were playing football, we all had a couple of coaches who were just pricks and hard-ons.
Mhm.
They weren't trying to be mean, just trying to keep you in line and discipline and that kind of stuff. And he had that with Belichick, and they said Belichick treated him like he would treat, the third string punter. So he's like, I want to have a little fun, and he goes and he has a great time. And you can see Arians; he looks like a fun guy to play with, and brings his friends. Brings Antonio Brown, who's like homeless, and he makes him right a world-class receiver. He just looks like he's
3
having a
years
lot
ago-
of
3 years
dominant
ago,
fun.
The guy had 120 catches. It's crazy.
Mm.
Yeah. Well,
We should go
speaking
play
of
for him.
great-
See what he could do with us.
Well, you know who could use our help? The AFC East.
Oh, come on.
3 of
Yeah,
4
right.
teams lost. The Dolphins beat the Patriots 17-16. I
I was happy for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the game either, but yeah.
The Panthers beat the Jets 19-14.
Mhm.
And of course, to me the biggest upset, the Steelers beat the Bills 23-16. Now, the
Yeah,
Bills
I
are supposed to be one of the elite
dominant.
teams.
and I just think that was them coming out first game. Steelers are super disciplined and smart. I think that they'll turn that around in Buffalo. Although Buffalo Allen is an awesome. I love him,
Yeah.
but I just don't think they have a lot of weapons and talent. on both sides of the football. Again, another team, pass rush isn't that great, but
Mhm.
disciplined defense. They have Diggs, but other than that, it's really not a superb team. He's an A+ quarterback on a B+ team, is what I think.
Right.
That's keeping him going. But enough about them. Let's get to the Jets. Here's what I want to say. I always said I wanted to keep Sam Darnold, build around him. I'm glad he went to the Panthers. I'm glad he had, because he's a classy kind of kid. Now, what happened? Let's go back a bunch of years. We haven't had edge rushes in the New York Jets. The best edge rusher I could remember was John Abraham, right? Sean Ellis, right? Long fucking time ago. We haven't had any good ones since. O-line for Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold, I think he ran his combine. He was like a 4.8 guy, which is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But I could swear for the last 3 years for the Jets, he was running a 4.3. Now, if there were 11 black guys chasing any one of us, I'm sure our time would go down 5 seconds as well. It's crazy. So what do? You get rid of him. We have all these problems. You throw this kid Wilson in there who could run. He's mobile. But what's happening? There's someone in his face every freaking play back there.
Yep.
So what are you going to do in 3 years from now without you knew you had a bad O-line or O-line issues, because I think some of the guys are good there. You have no pass rush. They have no cover guys for the last couple of years. So what do? Let's throw this new guy in there with the same scenario. O-line is blah. No edge rush. Cover corner guys. I don't know. I think the three of us could go out there. They probably give us a shot. So I think the definition of insanity is when you keep doing something over and over, the same thing again, expecting a different result. So what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing?
Larry, you asked the question, I think it was 2 or 3 episodes ago. Tommy, who would you draft? Mo, who would you draft?
Oh yeah, I said each of you pick 3 players each.
Yeah,
put them on the Jets.
Do they still win? Do they still get into the playoffs? The answer was no.
Right.
Now, the way they really, they have to go back to that draft where they had 2 first-round picks, one in the top 10, another one in the mid-20s, where they got DeBrickashaw Ferguson and they got Bangold.
Yeah.
Right. That gave them a freaking serious offensive line.
But it took them a little time to develop. They weren't.
Yeah, but still,
2-3 years down the line, right? Then they would. Yeah, right.
That's what they need. I don't think they go anywhere without having like some guys up front, because you can cycle through quarterbacks. I mean, that's been the Jets' MO for the longest time.
They signed the kid Tucker. It's going to take time to develop, right? He's possibly the best guard in football. But I'm just, and they did try to get some weapons. But I'm just saying is, I understand if you're an NFL player and they got the kid Lawson from the Bengals, top pass rush. He got hurt, typical Jet, fucking bad luck. But I'm saying is, if you're a player, if you go to Aaron Rodgers, you're gonna be a highest paid player in football, but you're going to the Jets. I'll stay in Green Bay. It's okay. I apologize. I'll suck your cock. I'll suck your. You ain't going nowhere, right? So it's hard to get players to go to the Jets, but go fucking make some moves. Got to do something. Right?
Well, that's what got to be part of the negotiation, right? So we're not just going to bring you over. We're going to now build around you. We're going to get you the positions you need. What do you think we need? Get that feedback. So if Aaron Rodgers wants to feed into a team and help kind of controls on destiny with an organization, if the Jets said, listen, we're sick of losing, you come tell us what to do, and they let them do it, that might happen. It's just egos are too big, right? So you're not going to let the owners and the managers, they're not going to let him come in and dictate what happens. They're going to, say they'll listen to him, and who knows if they'll even kind of negotiate that. But that's something like, when you bring a player like Favre in there, it happened to Favre, right? He came into the Jets. Maybe it could happen to Aaron Rodgers as well.
Oh, I don't know. A similar thing, but a lot different. I mean, Favre was 98 years old, right? That kind of thing. And he actually had a good season with them. But Favre, I think Favre's biggest problem was Favre, right? They call in a run play. He goes, no, 32 down there. Gunslinger, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? My biggest question is, when do Jet fans, they come in flying high at the beginning of the year. At what point does reality set in to say, you know what, these guys aren't going to make the playoffs? Like when do you think that's going to happen this year? Or has it already happened?
All the Jet fans I talk to, rebuilding year, if we go 6-10, we just want to be competitive, see some competitiveness.
Huh.
And yeah, that's at the point I'm at. Let's just get competitive. Let it be a 3-4 year build. Let's take our time, do it right. And I think methodologically, whatever the word is, they're trying to do that.
Yeah,
But it's just it's just fucking frustrating as fucking hell. Although the kid does look good, he does have talent.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
I was just gonna say on the Jet fan. So I think I have seen more of that this year from the Jet fans, but so I don't mind the Jets. I like watching them play. I always hope for them to win. But you always have like the diehard Jet fans, and it happens every year where they think this is going to be the year. And just like Met fans, like it seems like any New York team with an "et" after it needs to change their name. Just like a Met fan, you hope for the best, and then you get totally let down as soon as you start to see them play. Then they'll have a little spark of hope, and you'll be like, yeah, maybe they're going to come back now. And then they fail, and it's just perennial. And Vince Lombardi said it the best, right? And we see it happen. Winning is a habit, but unfortunately so is losing. Teams like the Mets and the Jets have losing habits, and then they have to turn that around if they're ever going to have a kind of a history of winning big games.
April.
I'm going to go out and say I really think it starts with the ownership.
Yeah.
Look at the Dallas Cowboys. People criticize the guy and everything. He's an owner who refuses to lose, to Tommy's point. Mm-hmm. He does everything in his power every year to get the best possible players team he can. Right? So if you're a Dallas fan, you got to love and respect the guy. Look at the Steelers. Only 3 head coaches in the history of the Steelers.
Yeah.
Look at the Jets. I think they had 3 head coaches last year. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I think you really need the right ownership, right mentality, change the culture, like you're saying, get them to be winners.
So, on that note, sticking with the Steelers.
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin, 14 years there, 0 losing seasons. Everybody said this would be the year that he breaks that streak, and his team doesn't look as good. Ben's old. They came out, they won their first game. They beat the Bills.
But I never said that. I knew that the Steelers would be contenders.
Yeah, but
9 to 10 to 11 win.
Their division's gotten stronger. The only team the only team in that division, the Broncos, was going to be they're not even in that division.
Bengals,
right?
Steelers, Ravens.
The Bengals have a strong team. They won. The Browns are the Browns.
The Bengals are improving. Burrows is a stud. They got some talent. That defense is atrocious. So they ain't gonna be there. 8-8. Okay.
The Browns.
I put the Bengals on the same level as the Jets. Like they try every year. You think
really?
They're gonna,
yeah. No, I do think they're turning things around. This kid Burrows is good. Yeah. They got some weapons there, but they're a long ways away.
Okay. How about Browns? The Browns shocked everybody last year. Even beat the Steelers at their place.
I love Baker Mayfield, man.
Okay.
I'm a big Baker Mayfield fan.
Oh, yeah?
I think they have the opportunity to bring in the right weapons to continue to build around them. But what a great attitude, especially after what they dealt with Johnny Football before him. What a great attitude.
Yeah.
I love his commercials too, where like the stadium.
Hate his commercials. Hate his commercials. Hate it. Awful. But that's just my opinion. I don't want to poo-poo on it.
Like answer the door, turn out the lights. That's just a great play on what home is, and the fact that he looks at that stadium as his home, I love it.
Just so the fans know, just 2 different opinions. Tommy's one of my best friends. Tommy can read Bazooka Gum comics and laugh at those things. So that's where his entertainment level's at. Those commercials are awful. I think they're stupid. I want to vomit. But the Bengals, to Muhammad's point, which I think he's trying to get at or he alluded to, whatever, I'm just trying to interject my expertise, opinion.
Right.
That's the team that has been the most biggest bunch of losers, awful management, awful ownership for the last 2 decades. Mm-hmm. Right? Gone through some of the most talented picks and everything. And now they've turned it around. They have turned it around. Although I'm not in love with their total team. Like, we're Giant fans. Odell Beckham on that team. He just don't fit there. That's a guy I would get rid of, get some draft capital for him. Get a stud player for him.
I think
a guy you tried and it's failed. His attitude could be bad over there.
He'll sell jerseys, I think, unless he goes to a place where people don't really know him. I think he'll sell more jerseys because he's a big name still. But I think he's better at the dance that Drake song they did the dance for.
Right.
The Kiki, do you love me? I think he was more successful with that than he's been as a receiver.
Yeah, but here's the question. Right? Here's the question I have, where I thought that the Steelers, this would be a year where they have a correction, where Tomlin has a losing season.
Okay,
This may
fair.
be the year that the Bengals are slightly better than them, but the two best teams in that division are still the Browns and still the Ravens. So,
Mm.
are the Ravens
I
still
disagree
going
with
to
that.
win? Okay.
I think
Okay,
the
let's hear it.
Ravens took a big step backwards. I think they're getting figured out. I think the Steelers. Here's what I love about the Steelers: 3 coaches. They don't shit the bed, and every couple of years, they give you a contract. Maybe they give you a second, and then they usually don't give you a third. Who got a third contract? It was definitely Ward, right? That's the stud receiver they had.
Maybe
Not many guys.
Almacanica.
Okay, but not many guys get that big third. They just they're a draft machine. They draft super well. They're always picking up a stud linebacker, fucking
Running back.
They got Watt, running back, offensive lineman. They just pull them out of nowhere, and they make good football plays. They take them, draft them, give them a chance, develop them. So I'm saying is the Steelers.
They could win the division, huh? Yeah.
They could win that division. Yes.
Wow.
I think it's. I'm going to say they're probably the number 2 team in that division because the Browns are looking so good. But if there's a team, tough defense, good running game, superior, intelligent, not what he used to be. He don't shit the bed. He don't make mistakes. Tough son of a bitch, Roethlisberger. Right. I think the Steelers are a very solid team. Again, an injury on the Steelers, they'll overcome it. Yeah. An injury on the Browns, I don't know if they're going to be as adaptive. The coaching staff is nowhere near that of the Steelers. Deep, right? No fucking way. No
and
way.
Back to the winning history of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yes.
Right. No matter what town you go to, people appreciate their hard-nosed blue-collar football, and that carries with them, and that's their image, and that's what they always will win because of. Listen, they may have a down season eventually, but I think that hard-nosed support by their fans and then just that overall positive atmosphere helps you win games. I really do.
Helps you win games. Yeah. 100%. So.
Now, do we even have to talk about the AFC West? I mean, you have the Chiefs, and then you have everybody else, right? The Broncos, the Chargers, and the Raiders.
I think with the Chiefs,
the Raiders came out strong.
Mo. But, I think with the Chiefs, their defense is gonna. I think if they're gonna lose a game, it's not gonna be because of their offense. It's gonna be because of their defense. They give up a lot of points.
Well, look at what Tampa Bay did in the Super Bowl. They embarrassed Mahomes. Who I like. They embarrassed it. They just totally shut him down. A bunch of old guys just punched him in the mouth. And they they cried and they ran home. Took the ball. That's it. So I'm very much under the impression the Chiefs are beatable. Yeah. Chiefs. I'm happy. I like Andy Reid and everything. But now you got the Chargers. They're a developmental team. But that kid, Herbert,
right? Yeah.
Herbert, stud, right? Gunslinger.
Right.
Right. But I think they're a developmental team. The Raiders, Gruden's building them real slow. They beat them last year. Raiders beat Kansas City last year.
Right.
Yeah. And the Broncos, that defense is insane. Von Miller against the Giants, he looked like the Von Miller old. Hopefully he stays.
Exactly. Yeah, actually, they were going to release the guy. They may have even released him and then re-signed him for a smaller deal.
Well, he also had some off the field issues.
Yeah.
Right. What was he doing? He touched somebody, or what happened? This or something like that.
We all touch somebody.
I touch myself all the time, but I don't go to jail for it. Right.
So I also think that they're targeted too. I mean, there's people that line up because they know some of them aren't that smart and take advantage of them. But they definitely don't have a good track record with the ladies.
Yeah. But it's really it's the Chiefs' season to lose, right?
Nope,
but an injury. That's what's great about football. Mahomes goes down. Right, he's mobile. He runs. He gets sacked. He had the concussion last year. He goes down. Totally different team.
Yeah.
Right. So one injury, 1 week.
Do you see that one pass where he threw the ball and it wasn't even a spiral? It looked like he just launched it like a shot put, and Tyreek Hill just stopped in his tracks. The defender overran the ball and he caught it, ran it for a touchdown. I mean, it was almost like not even a real pass.
It was like the 8th graders playing like the 3rd graders, right? That one play. Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, he's just – I don't think there's somebody in the NFL with the same type of speed as Tyreek Hill.
You're right. Or they may be that – maybe there's a couple of guys equal to him, but he can then cut, right? Breakaway speed, left and right, run routes. He's smart. Yeah, he's pretty crazy. And he's got sick hands, right? But they got a lot of talent. They got Kelsey, They got what's his face? The
They've got a pretty good running back, Clyde.
Yeah,
Whatever his name is.
L's A word. He has like 7 names. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, right. But I think Tommy's right. Their defense a little block. Edmond, what do you got?
I was going to say predictions now. Let's go into predictions.
Week 1 prediction. All right, yeah, sure.
Week 2 predictions now.
Oh.
Now, this is coming off of Trevor Lawrence losing his first game. He never lost a game in high school, never lost a game in college.
Right.
Lost his first one here.
Mm-hmm.
Does he win his second game? Does he win his first game next week?
Who do they got?
Oh, you're asking me everything. Come on.
Well,
let me just check right now. Jaguar schedule.
Come on, you can't ask a question like that without. Come on.
I thought you could just give me a quick yes or no. So the
No.
Jaguars next week play the Broncos, and they're at home.
Yeah, they're gonna lose. That defense. You know what it is. So let's. There's a reason why Lawrence is a Jaguar, not a Jet, because they were the worst team in football last year. Minshew, I sort of liked. This guy's definitely has potential to be a legendary quarterback, without a doubt. His talent is there. He's a nice guy and everything. But overall, the football team's just not talented. They're lacking in a lot of positions. Give me their best pass rusher. Who do you got?
Couldn't name a guy on the team besides him.
Right.
And I had the running back on my fantasy team.
Right. And okay.
I'm going to make this prediction. So
let's hear it.
I think that he broke the ice. I think first loss. Sometimes you need that when you think you're invincible. I think he comes back, and if he throws less than 2 interceptions, they win.
Yeah.
Okay.
The good thing for him is not going against such a high-powered offense, right? Mm-hmm. Hopefully they could keep it tight. But again, you have Chubb, I think, was hurt last week. He's coming back. Von Miller coming back. It's a smart secondary, smart coach. Traditionally, good coaches and good defenses usually have field days against rookie quarterbacks, right? He doesn't have a ton of weapons. They don't really have a stud tight end. Their number 1 receiver guy, Chalk, right? Pretty fucking good.
Right.
One of their running backs just went down. Their O-line is pretty decent. They're not terrible. I just coming against the Broncos and that defense coaching, saying he'll have a good game. He's gonna, you can't, who was it? Peyton Manning, his first year.
Yeah, led the league in interceptions.
Right. Yeah. So a lot of these rookie quarterbacks, he'll be a great quarterback and he'll turn them around and they'll build. But I just don't see them beating the Broncos.
I hear you.
Their first one will be against probably a good team who goes to a bachelor party the night before. And they say, "Oh, I'm playing the Jaguars," and then they get their first one. Well, it's going to be a process.
It's been a fantastic, mainly sports dominated discussion. I know we've got a game. I know we've got some funny news to go over, but let's do that on the next podcast.
What's that?
On our next episode. So we've got a couple of games and stuff. I think.
Well, do we want to roll this in? We could do. Oh, you want to wrap it down? Everybody's going to bed.
You got to wrap it down.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay.
What do I know? No problem.
These are our parting shots. So anything you'd like to say, and let's start off with Tom.
All right, guys. So I'm going to share my screen if I could.
Ghost Tom.
I'm just going to ask for, if you guys can you see the screen?
I'm going to add it.
There it comes.
There we go. Yeah.
All right. So I'd like to say that, unfortunately over the weekend, it happened on Friday, the day before 9/11. We lost Uncle Bobby Kozlowski. He wasn't a direct uncle, but an uncle in the family. He was my cousin's uncle through marriage.
Who's that? Your cousin who through marriage?
Brian.
Oh,
Ashley Brian. So,
yep.
So Bob Kozlowski was a lifelong firefighter. A couple of things I learned from reading his obituary, which he never talked about. He was a Vietnam vet. Was a sergeant in Vietnam, and he was an instructor in quick kill and jungle fighting, which is pretty damn amazing. He was a firefighter of the year, I think, back in the 70s for saving 3 people out of a building. Just had a really, successful life as a hero. Was down at 9/11 helping out. It was a little bit after I think he retired, or he was kind of the end of his time. Came down with a 9/11 related illness, and we lost him after almost a full 20 years. One of the nicest guys you could ever meet. I feel very, very bad for his family, for his kids, and for his wife. And I just like to ask everyone to pray for him and his family. And
Absolutely.
and Bob Kozlowski, rest in peace. Love you.
Certainly.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
Hi, Tom. Thanks for bringing the whole podcast down.
Yeah.
Everybody's crying. But no, it's a beautiful message. We keep it on the 9/11 theme. I was talking a lot of people, and it's a sad day for everybody. And what the fuck? What the fuck? I'm going to get serious for a couple of seconds. After 9/11 hit, the nation rallied. We had to go to a couple of wars. It is what it is. How the fuck are we now in the situation we're in? We just did a podcast where we were showing everybody jumping on the plane. How many fucking terrorists did we just let in this? How many people snuck in? We did a lot of good things in that, but we're bringing all these people in the country, which political refugees. We have to help. I want to help people, but there were fucking terrorists in our country 20 years ago that learned, got trained here in the U.S. how to fly fucking planes. We do all this work, all these wars, and there's probably worse, more evil people in the country now than there was then.
They can walk right to the border, Larry.
And they don't have to get a COVID shot. And we're going to be paying for these people, right? We're going to be paying for these people, giving them money.
It's arrogance and ignorance.
Or are some of our leaders here fucking domestic fucking terrorists themselves? What the fuck is wrong with people?
Sometimes, right?
During World War I, right? They took all the Japanese Americans, right? Anybody from Japan, they put them in a concentration camp here in America. Is that right? No. But do we need to fucking keep an eye on people? And hey, we need to talk to you a little bit. That's all good shit. But how the fuck are we going so backwards? Right? So that's all I want to say is that 9/11, a lot of good break. All guys like him, people who got sick, who fought for our country. We have a president who said, all right, I have a great idea. I want to end the war in Afghanistan. All right, so let me think. We have a lot of people there. Let's get all the guys with the guns out first and then worry about all the civilians.
Horrible.
How do you make that decision? So what I'm saying is that I think we're in such awful disarray, right? Even the Taliban, when Biden goes out, you're going to pay for all this shit. I'm going to come out and get you. You're lying to your people. Taliban came out the next day and said, you don't lie to your people? Your country's not in fucking disarray. You got so that's what I'm saying is I just feel we are so fucking ass backwards. I do believe in helping people, and I do know we have to do some things. I get it, but not the fucking way we're doing it. It's fucking, we're just going ass backwards. Yeah, and I'm not a big political guy. That's the other thing. Everybody knows me. I'm a clown all the time, but that's just I'm just calling it like it is.
Everything that's been handled by the current administration, to me, has been done improperly. The shutdown of the pipeline, oil pipeline, to take away our energy independence. The way he pulled out of Afghanistan. Listen, if you don't want to be there, great, but there's a way to do it where you don't put Americans at risk and we wind down gracefully. Just don't finish the border wall when it was almost complete, and don't maintain it and bring people in orderly. If you want to bring people in, fix the laws so you don't have to skirt them. Everything that he's done so far has been done so ass backwards, like you said.
Yeah.
You wonder whether it's done on purpose to hurt
destroy the country. I'm well said. I'm agreeing with you. And this whole COVID fucking thing, right? So I had COVID, right? March 2020. I recently had my antibody test. My antibodies they're probably ladies. They just don't want to leave me. My antibodies are still through the roof. Every doctor I talked to said, don't get the shot. The antibodies are through the roof. You're going to get the shot. It's really going to do more harm than good. But now you can't go out. You can't go to the gym. If a kid signs up for college, right? So the government's being like a fucking bunch of jerk-offs. They're saying, all right, we have some rules here and everything, but all the private organizations are going to put in these fucking rules just because they don't want to get sued and have problems.
Yep.
This reminds me of the time. You guys like this one. This is a little funny. Remember North Korea? We have a little beef with North Korea when Obama was president, and they make that jokey movie about him.
Yeah.
What was it called? I watched it. It was pretty fucking funny. And so I think Sony did the movie.
Sony got hacked because
Sony got hackers. All right, so now the day before the release, they're getting all these threats. We're gonna blow you up, attack you. Don't put this out. We don't want our insane ruler to be looked in a stupid way. So Sony says, You're the answer. Okay, cool. Thank you. Yeah. So what does Sony do? We were all corporates in Sony, a big conversation has, guys, listen, we don't want people to die and get hurt over this. Let's pull the movie, right? The next day, Obama's on the fucking comes out and says, you shouldn't have done that. We're America. We got you back. Are you kidding me? He'd have been the first one that would have been a couple of bombs going off. What the fuck's releasing a movie like that for? What's wrong with you? So it's so fucking ass backwards that if you're a corporation, you can't make a right decision, even when you're trying to. That's how that's so awful, this whole thing.
Speaking of football, it's Monday morning quarterbacking at its best. So it'll always be the other side.
Yeah. Right. It'll always be the other side. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's all I got to say about that. I have
Very
spoken.
Good. Very good. Well,
I was from the Mandalorians.
I was happy to be in town. I normally don't get to go to the Brian Canizaro Memorial barbecue, and so I was able to go. I was there with Bobby, Al, and Rich, and 300 others. So we
How did you force him do? It's a golf. I know it's a round robin golf.
Yeah, it was round robin. So we were basically par the whole day. We actually did pretty well.
A couple of good throws,
but not like one guy picked up for the other, but essentially, it's a great way to remember Brian and some of the others who
give a little history about Brian. Again, very similar to Kozlowski there.
Yeah, so Brian, he was a member of our fraternity in Sigma Chi Epsilon. Just
wait a minute.
Personality.
A member of our fraternity. Oh, let me go this way. A member of our fraternity.
Right.
Tommy wasn't there, but Tommy, we did all play football together.
Yeah.
He played with us a couple of years.
This is Mo's wrap down, Larry.
Yeah. So yeah, Brian just super energetic and really
full of life. Yeah.
Yeah. Just the type of personality that draws you in, and so he he became a fireman soon after college. Was there, and then like a lot of other people answered the call on that day, and so the kind of thing where the guy was practically invincible. When you knew the guy, he was about 6'1", 6'2", just pretty well built, and so the fact that nobody knew where he was, and then we feared the worst, and then it was just a really, really emotional funeral. And since then,
fireman, stud, good athlete, full of life. He was a character. He talked his wife into doing like a live birth video on a documentary thing that was on like a major channel, and she was like, I don't want, I think it was a great idea, and that when she actually was naked having birth, and she's like, oh my god, all my friends see my vagina, this is awful. So it was a funny story. Yeah, they're great people and everything. He had did have two children. He had a child.
He had
one together.
It was actually an all-star college baseball player. So the kid's quite an athlete. Grew up just like his dad.
Yeah, awesome. Wow, so and full of life, always joking around. One funny story I have. It was one year I'm playing defensive end and he's playing the other defensive end, and we both had like scruffs going. Like football, you think cool, you have scruffs going. So he goes, listen, you play the right side and I play the left. So why don't you shave half of your face off and leave the scruff on the one side, and I'll do the other. So we're like twins, and I show up with half shaven face, and he didn't shave at all. He's perfectly beard. It was like as I'm walking around half shaved face. So yeah, funny fucking guy. I liked him. Cool dude. He loved to fish. He was an outdoors, loved to hunt. Yeah. Always full of life. Just a nice guy. True.
Take it way too early.
Here's a crazy thing. 9/11 happened on that Tuesday. That weekend, someone in the fraternity got married, and we were all at the it was Friday. I think it was a Friday night, a Saturday wedding. We all had to go to the wedding. Everybody's like, all bummed. He wasn't pronounced dead. He was missing. and it was what the fuck, and we all had to go to this wedding. It was just the fuck. I remember that being a brutal.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I should be here and that, and we were just gonna get one quick funny thing at his funeral. He when he was a lot of young firemen, they do like a lot of little side jobs to make some extra money. So there was a guy who was another older fireman, and it was like not the Maury Povert show. Who's the more raunchy one? Richard Bay.
Yeah,
Richard Bay had a show And so the one fireman was head of security, so we would get all the young firemen to come and just, be like the bouncers kind of things. And that.
Oh, it was Springer.
Jerry Springer.
Jerry
Okay, there you go.
Springer. Yeah,
and
yeah.
There was an episode where there was this guy who was like a bully, and but he kept getting out of his seat and like doing some stupid thing. So during a commercial break, Brian had to tackle him. True story. It tackles him pretty hard. So now, during the rest of the show, anytime the guy got crazy, Brian stood up, but you don't see it on camera, and the guy kept sitting back down. But we saw like the unedited version. It was pretty fucking funny.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, he was good. He was character, good athlete, character.
Amazing,
yeah, fun guy. Yeah.
So I was just happy, that I actually got to be here. Normally, I've lived outside of the area for a while, and so I'm heading back to LA this weekend, guys. And I'm in search of a new place, and I'll let you know how it goes.
Wait a minute, I thought you had the old place. You were renting that place? That was a nice.
Yeah, I
the
was
Mac
renting
Daddy
the old
pit.
place.
Oh,
Yeah,
that was nice. All right, there you go.
For you guys, West Coast.
Yep.
So you guys, West Coast, yeah. Do a show live from out there. Fly us out on the budget, Mo.
Yep. You got it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, good
All right.
show, and
Yes.
we'll catch you guys later.
All right.
All right.
So we got some topics.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.